Hello, beautiful people. It is Coach Stephanie here, and this is episode 1 of Timeless Talks with Coach Steph. Today, I'm actually going to do an interview, and I want to introduce my very special guest. His name is Marcus Ellis. He just moved to Hampton Roads from southeastern North Carolina. He studied computer science at North Carolina A&T and proceeded to further his knowledge in the U.S. Navy as an information technology specialist for an entire decade before jumping into real estate investing headfirst. As a real estate agent, Marcus provides strategic marketing and transaction management services to his clients across the Hampton Roads markets. His business is built on dedication, communication, determination, and trust, while embodying the ability to cater all of his clients' real estate needs. His motto is, "Rest assured, I will listen to you. With an understanding of your needs and wants, I will do my best to help you achieve them all." In his free time, Marcus spends time with his wife and children. They love to travel and have new experiences, and also spend some time with friends and family. All right, everyone. So let's welcome Marcus Ellis. I'm so excited that you are here. You are my very first guest on Timeless Talks with Coach Steph. I am honored. I'm excited. And like I was saying before we jumped on together, I just want to let the audience know the real reason why I started Timeless Talks. And it was really to give you guys, examples of what other people are doing in the world, to show you the limitless possibilities that are available to y'all, and to show you that no matter where you come from, you can accomplish something. You can make your dreams come true. So I'm going to go down a list of questions for Mr. Marcus. He's going to give you guys some advice. He's going to talk a little bit about his history. And make sure that you guys comment, you like, and you subscribe if this has inspired you. There's going to be information at the end to follow us both. So make sure you show some love, okay? All right, Mr. Marcus. So can you tell us a little bit about you now? Like I said, I read your intro. Your bio is just simply amazing. A decade as a U.S. Navy information technology specialist. Am I saying that right? That sounds like a complicated job, but tell us a little bit about you.
Well, about me, I grew up in North Carolina. I spent my whole life there. Graduated high school and I went to North Carolina A&T. I didn't graduate from there though. Kind of got into some things, and then from there, I joined the Navy and to become an IT, so I can transition out, have some in the civilian world waiting on me. And that 4 years turned into 10 years. So after going through that, I grew a lot. I learned more about myself than my job. So I don't know how to say this, but I got put in a lot of managerial positions. So finding people's weaknesses and their strengths and applying it to our mission is something that just came natural to me. So I always felt like I could do that on the outside. Try something new, build a team around it to accomplish something. And that's pretty much what I'm doing now. That's it.
That's interesting. So tell me a little bit, like when you said that it came natural to you to kind of, see, I guess you said see things in people and kind of be able to assist them in certain ways based off of what you saw within that person. How do you feel like you discovered that gift within you?
Throughout my whole entire Navy career, this ain't for everybody, just my experience. I had a few good leaders, and I also had some difficult leaders, right? I don't feel like you can just walk into a new job and just start telling people what to do. I mean, you don't really understand the positions of each person. You can't talk to everyone like you talk to this person. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't respond the same way.
Right.
And when I was lower ranking, I started picking up on that real quick. And as I came up in rank, I started getting put in these positions. I started talking to everyone. I just didn't task anybody. I tried to learn about them first. What you like to do on the outside? What's your hobbies? What are you into? And I can better gauge where I can put you in the team to accomplish our mission. And I don't know, it just worked for me. Learning your people is probably the best thing about being a manager. It ain't about like just shot calling. It's about actually growing a family, grooming somebody.
I definitely agree. I do think it definitely takes, even to be in any type of leadership position when you're over like a group set of people, being able to recognize what they are good at, what they're not good at, and put them in spaces where they will grow and blossom versus dealing with like a lot of resistance. You know what I'm saying? So that's awesome that you were able to recognize that. And I'm sure people were thankful to you for like not putting them where they don't belong, essentially. Because a lot of time leaders get caught up in their ego and they're just like, do what I say and go this way and you go here, instead of really evaluating. And essentially that's how you build a team. You can't build a team unless you're willing to play off of people's strengths, and have them collab with people that can help them with their weaknesses. So I think that's awesome. So do you feel like that's how you got started in your current business, by recognizing that gift within yourself and then like cultivating it? Or did you feel called or pulled to go into real estate?
My mom was real big into like decor, and she just always loved houses. So on the weekend, we would drive all the way to South Carolina, 2-3 hours away, just to go see houses for no reason, just to get out the house and do something. And when I was in 8th grade, she bought an old, super distressed property. I hated it, but she was like, "We bond it, we gonna fix it up." I was like, "All right, whatever." And so we get in there. She gets it. We pretty much gut it and build everything back up, brand new. And the end result is what really motivated me to lean towards real estate. But growing up where I came from, it ain't too many transactions growing on. I grew up in a little town of Garland. We don't even have a stoplight. We got a blinking light, So it ain't too much going on. But that's why I didn't take it then, because I didn't see how I could make money from it. So instead, I just chose to go to college as a major in computer science, and got my associates, and then I went to the Navy to do the same thing. I didn't plan to stay for 10 years. It just so happened. I found my wife, I had a kid, had another kid. So I stayed in, for the benefits. But like I said, during that whole 10-year period, I just learned so much about me and what I could be doing. And I'm 30 now, I didn't want to live and retire out the Navy and then regret. I was like, I could have built this in the meantime, and I didn't do that. So instead, I chose to get out and see what I can do on my own, try to create my own bag.
Right. I absolutely love that. I think it's funny how, God brings things full circle for us. Like you mentioned, when you were a kid, you were kind of given a glimpse into the world of real estate, and then it ended up coming full circle for you. So I guess once you decided to actually leave the Navy, you felt like that would be a good direction for you to head, being that you were already exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that.
And
I like that.
When I came into the Navy, I met people that read a lot. And when I was coming up, I didn't read. If it wasn't assigned to me in school, I didn't read, right? So when I had my daughter, my first child, that's when I started to pick up a book and started trying to learn. And the first book I picked up was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it just changed my whole mindset as far as money and finances. And from there, it just went to a rabbit hole. You can see, like, that's all I do is read. And from there, it's just like I found out all the stuff I didn't know. When you're young, you think you know everything. And when you start reading, you just realize it kind of humbles you, like brings you down. Like, I didn't know about this, I didn't know about that. It's crazy how he got from here to there, and so on and so forth, And like I said, that's what I'm trying to do. Take risks, see what happens.
I definitely think that is an important aspect. I actually made a quote. I think it was today. And whoever's watching this, if you're watching this later, go check out my Instagram. But I said, why doubt yourself when you can educate yourself? Because I think when you aren't educated, you get unsure and you're like, well, can I do this? Or I don't know enough about, or you misjudge things and you end up making like a ton of mistakes that could have been avoided.
Or you don't do it at all.
Right. Or you never get started because you have no knowledge of what to even do. you know, so I think it is important that people do educate themselves. So do you feel like Rich Dad Poor Dad is like a good book for people to start with, learning about their
Absolutely.
finances or just getting some inspiration?
Absolutely. If you were never like really taught finances and what to do with your money when you were younger, I think that's a great starting point for just switching your whole mindset as far as what to do with it and how to align yourself with your goals to get there, you know, and from there, it's going to open you up to so many more things. Like I said, it's a rabbit hole of knowledge. So, yeah, I think that's a great starter book. And from there, everybody ain't got the same interests as me. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that leads you to something that you're naturally drawn to.
I like that. I actually, I started it. I'm not a big reader. I'm a big fan of audibles. I think I'm an auditory learner and a visual learner.
Yeah.
Like to sit down and force myself to read something or absorb information that I'm like not super excited about is a struggle for me. So I do know Rich Dad Poor Dad is on Audible for all my people that are like me. But if not, pick up a copy of it. I'm sure it's on Amazon if you really want to educate yourself about finances. So when it comes to real estate, you know, I read in your bio about, it said, rest assured, I will listen to you with an understanding of your needs and wants. I will do my best to help you achieve them all. Would you say helping people achieve their real estate goals? Like what type of goals do you help your clients achieve? And what are you most passionate about when you do it?
I have clients, for the most part, it's the same goal. I got investors, I got buyers, I got sellers. For my investor guys, it's all about the numbers. It's not necessarily about, there's no emotions tied to it, you know. Buyers and sellers is all emotion. So when I initially talk to someone about buying a home, I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to talk to you about every single thing that you want and every single thing that you need, right? Because sometimes we have to compromise. You have to go with what's on the market. You know, I can't create your perfect house. I mean, we could, but it's going to take time. So I want to get a real good understanding of what your life interests are, and tailor it to you and your family. You know, I'm most passionate about negotiating. Honestly, that's probably my favorite thing. When someone thinks they about to pay $250 for a house, but I can lock it in for $225. You know, and we get everything that you wanted. And that's probably my favorite thing about it. And just seeing people's faces when you hand over the keys to their brand new home, it's amazing. And it's a lot of agents in this business that's all about their paycheck. And you can tell it, you know, the day you close, you will never hear from them again. I make sure to follow up with each and every one of my clients. And I think that's what separates me and my brokerage, with my team, so to speak, from a lot of these other agents out here. And I feel like follow-up is a key to this business, because you can mess around and spend 5, 10, 15K a month in just marketing. But if you following up with past clients, referrals, that's free. Word of mouth is free. So I'm gonna make sure I give you the best experience I possibly can. So you tell your friends about me and my team, you know? So that's how we pretty much built in, and that's how we're gonna keep it going.
I always tell people, you know, you can do anything to make money. You can manifest money, you could do whatever. But I really believe ultimate fulfillment comes from, you know, one, feeling like you're walking your calling, or feeling like you're making some type of impact, and not only pouring love into your business and what it is that you do, but receiving that gratitude. Like you said, the looks on their faces, like I'm pretty sure plenty of people have cried, you know, plenty of people have thanked you, and like, you know, probably caught the Holy Ghost and all kinds of experiences. But it is exciting to, you know, do something that makes a true impact. Like people sleep on their purpose so many times. Somebody could get into real estate and feel like they're not making a real impact by helping people get into homes, but a home is so much bigger than just the foundation and you know, the walls and the windows. Like that is where somebody's going to live. That is where somebody's going to raise their children. You know, that's where somebody, you know, might bring their fiance and their wife home and have their first baby. And like, It's
Right.
all type of things that a home really means to people. So I think that's phenomenal. Um, I don't think real estate, to me personally, I don't think is the easiest thing to get into without educating yourself first, like we talked about. But what advice would you give to anybody wanting to start this business, wanting to get into real estate investing or any aspect of it?
I would say everybody's not a reader, right? Like you said. So I would say start with biggerpockets.com. It's like a real estate platform for all aspects of real estate. You get up there and you ask, you type in whatever your question is. I guarantee you it's probably 20 forms of somebody going in great detail of how to do whatever it is you're looking to do. Um, it's a lot of different avenues of real estate. Each one has its own quirks and obstacles to get through. But I would definitely read or go on YouTube, whatever the case may be, and whatever side of real estate investing you're interested in, I would start there. From there, I would take it to Googling somebody in that field and try to align yourself with them, connect with them, see if you can come in and not necessarily pick their brain, but you want to learn about that person first before you ask for anything. See how you can help them first, you know? I think that's real big. You get a lot of people in my DMs and, hey, how you do this? Like, you know, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of things going on. I don't have time to reply to everyone. But I think you should always try to bring something of value to somebody before you try to ask them for something. That's just like a little pet peeve of mine. But from there, like I said, you try to align yourself with someone and see what they can teach you. And also see what you can do for them. And you never know what can come from that. They can introduce you to somebody else that's willing to take you under their wing, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you can get introduced to new circles like that. And I'm a big, firm believer in networking. Firm. Degrees and everything else, it won't necessarily get you to where you need to be. It's all about knowing people, you know? And I hate politics, but that's part of the game. You got to learn it. You got to know how to maneuver. And but yeah, that's my advice. And all in all, I would say take risks. If you want a rental property, buy it. You know, because nobody's gonna be there to hold your hand through every single step. So some things you have to learn on your own. Me and my brother just bought a mobile home park. We never done that before. You know what I'm saying? But it's something we saw the value in it. It's taking a lot of money to renovate it and stuff like that. We're still learning every single day. Every single day is something new that pops up that we gotta figure it out. But that's a part of the game. I know the next time I buy a mobile home park, I understand what to look for, you know, better off than me just not doing it or waiting for somebody to show it to me, you know? So get your hands dirty. That's my advice.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think a lot of times we get it misconstrued. You know, I guess it's a big, huge debate, especially in the Black community. Like, oh, nobody wants to give any information for free. But what people fail to realize is like when people have stepped into things and they've reached a certain level of success, this has taken them, 5, 10, 15, 20 years to get to a certain level. And then too, it's an energy thing. Like if you're not willing to give something, you can't expect to receive. That's a universal law of how the universe is set up. And you can't expect to just take someone's years of experience and get it like they're just going to hand it to you when they work their butts off for it, and if that's the case, if you do want a whole bunch of free information, like you said, it's information out there. You can YouTube, you can Google, but the advantage of willing to not only invest in yourself in your future and put money into the hands of a coach, a mentor, or someone to lead you is you got all 20 years of their mistakes, their failures, and their success, everything they learned packaged up nice and neat to give to you for you to excel way quicker. So, I say a form of payment is just an expression of gratitude. Like if I don't have to spend 20 years and make the same mistakes as you, and you can get me from A to Z in a shorter amount of time, you just bless me with something I can't get back, which is years of struggle. So why would I not want to invest in myself? And I tell people, I get it. And I think the people that complain about it the most are people that are givers. I get it. That's why I do stuff like this, where you can get advice. That's why I do stuff on my YouTube channel to help guide people. Plenty of free information, plenty of resources that are out there. On my podcast, I do weekly guidance, all types of things. There's information out there for you. But like I said, if you're not in a position to necessarily hire $1,000 coach or $1,000 mentor or whatever, you can buy somebody $25 ebook. You can purchase a $20 book off of Amazon. Like, start with the small investments. That's how I started. I didn't have it when I first started. Start with the small investments. Like you said, you were willing to at least buy a book and say, let me take it step by step by step. So I tell people, start with something small. And then you'll realize how much you got out of that something small. And then when you're in a position, because you've learned and you cultivated certain things, to hire somebody that's going to scale you 0 to 100, go ahead and make the investment so you can save yourself some time. And like you said, do research. Don't just jump on the first thing that you see, but make sure that it's a person that, one, has good integrity about what it is that they're going to share with you, really can show that they are successful, because there's a lot of frauds on the internet. But make sure you're willing to show some type of appreciation, because guess what? When you get to your level, you're going to feel the same way, because you're going to have everybody out of the woodworks coming to jump on what it is that you're doing. And you're going to be like, wait a minute, boo-boo, you wasn't shooting with me in the gym, honey. I worked very hard to get here. So I said we have to learn how to put our pride aside in the Black community, because the others, no offense, other people are more than willing to invest in each other, which is why they grow like they grow, because they put their ego aside and they say, you know what, if I have to pay you for information, baby, I'm gonna pay you, because I know it's gonna benefit me in the long run. So I think you made a really good point with that, and you still gave some tips. What I'm gonna have you do is send me the website, so that way I can include it in the description, and the book as well, so that way you guys can start there with educating yourself about real estate. But don't be afraid to invest. Don't let the fear of spending money like stop you from your growth. Like, you're investing in yourself. Don't think about it like, oh, I got to give them money. No, boo-boo, you're fueling your dreams. Like, do what you got to do. That's the only way that we're all going to grow. And really be able to learn from one another. So you got to put your pride aside, okay? So now that you've given us some advice about real estating, tell us your morning routine. Like I tell entrepreneurs, I'm sure on YouTube you've heard of like a millionaire's morning routine. I always tell people you have to find a routine that works best for you, and what resonates best with you. Like, I meditate, I pray, I have my workout days. I go for like a little nature walk. I have certain things that I do that resonate with me, but I want people to hear a variety of what other entrepreneurs do that keeps them grounded before they start their day. So tell us a little bit about what your morning routine looks like.
I'm gonna be honest. Since this whole COVID-19 thing popped off, I ain't really had a morning routine. I've been going to bed like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's bad. But now we starting to do the phases where we open it back up. I'm trying to get back into my morning routine, and usually I wake up like 5:30, 5 o'clock, something like that. And first thing I do is check my emails. That's like a given. I have to check my emails because real estate don't stop. So I make sure to respond to those. And I might have some coffee, something like that. I might exercise. I don't do it every day. But if I know I got something big coming up, I'll try to exercise it. And it just gives me a little motivation for the rest of the day. If I can get through my workout, this 30, 45-minute workout, then I can get through whatever's coming at me today, So I try to plan ahead for that. But mostly, yeah, I'm straight on my phone as soon as I wake up, trying to do business and strategize. After my workout, that's exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my business as a whole. And as you know, each business got 10 different things going on in it, so I do a lot. So I try to, just pretty much plan what's next for each one of the businesses we got going on and go from there.
What is one of the ways that you stay organized with doing so much and like avoiding the overwhelm?
Team. That's my thing. I know I'm pretty self-aware, and I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm slacking on. And if I got to sit behind a desk and like do paperwork, it's gonna drive me crazy. But luckily, like again, my mom's, she's an accountant, so she's like the most organized person that I've ever met. So usually I'll lean on her so I don't have to keep bothering her. Like some little things I'll do myself, but usually I'll try to push that off of my mom's. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know. That's just mainly it, man. As far as paperwork, that all goes to her. But as far as the business itself, I'm usually one just picking up calls and making calls and figuring things out every single day. I'm figuring new things out, and that's what I love about entrepreneurship. Like, there's no 2 days that's gonna be the same, you know. And each day I'm gonna learn something new.
I always say, I teach my Globe Society that you have to understand your own strengths and weaknesses, as well as the
Right.
people that you want to hire on your team. Excuse me. And when you get to a certain point of like feeling completely frustrated or just like, listen, this just ain't for me. This isn't my, you know, what I'm really good at. We can't
Yeah.
be good at everything. That's just impossible, which is why it's important to recognize that within yourself and be willing to invest in a team. Um, my advice for people starting out that are, you know, what we like to call bootstrapping, when you're literally doing it,
Exactly.
everything yourself,
Yeah.
is it's okay, but balance your time, manage your time. And this is one of the things that I teach in my inner circle is, you know, how to really balance out all of your daily tasks without overwhelm. But once you
Mm-hmm.
really reach a certain point financially, hire somebody. I'll drop some links in the description for websites that you can go to where you can hire somebody for $7 or $8 an hour. They might be in another country, but guess what? They're going to get the job done. Like if you need someone to
Mm-hmm.
upload your podcast, somebody will upload your podcast. If you need someone to manage your Instagram, someone will manage your Instagram, a VA, anything. Tell
Exactly.
us, I know you said that you had your mom for help with accounting, but tell us how you manage things. Like before you had a team, did you go from like wanting to start straight into like, let me get a team, or did you have to handle some things by yourself? And if
No,
so, how did you do
no.
it?
When you first start out, you doing every single thing, everything. You wearing every hat in your business until you can scale it up enough to you can hire your weakness. You know what I'm saying? So when I first started out, my first entrepreneurial venture, I started a T-shirt brand, and from there it was me designing logos on YouTube, learning how to do that, um, learning about photography to take pictures of my merchandise, finding out the best way to print my logo on these shirts. You know, it's like 3-4 different ways you can do that. And then finding the garment itself that you're going to print on. It was me sourcing out every single thing, going through every single problem. That business didn't last. I just got done with that one. But I learned a lot to start my next venture. And my next venture was I started flipping mid-century furniture. So I would go out, find furniture for like 20, 30, 40 bucks and go to Lowe's, pick up some materials, redo it, and sell it for $200, $300, $400. And then from there, it started local. Then I started shipping pieces, to New York, California. I started shipping a lot of things. I picked up a desk for 50 bucks and I sold it for $1,200. You know, just learning. You know what I'm saying? Learning about different brands, different products. Each venture, it taught me something new that I can take to my next thing. And that's how I look at businesses. Each business has a different business model. And if I can take this business model and apply it to this and bypass some of the other things that other competitors are doing, that's how I'm looking at business. And that's how I look at business growth, strategies, and things like that. So
I think that's important. And I think people should recognize that too, because a lot of times, you know, people are like, well, what's my calling? What's my purpose? First off, you breathing is you living in purpose, honey. You working on your
right,
self-development
right.
and growing to be a better person is a part of your purpose. And a lot of times I'm actually going to drop a whole video on 3 ways to recognize your purpose and if you're actually walking in it. But a lot of times we attach it to just, like a job or a career or a title. That's not your purpose. That's your calling, essentially.
Right.
But your purpose is to live, to grow, and evolve. So when you recognize that, it's certain stages, it's always preparation before like you actually are walking in your calling. It's certain things that you need to learn. And a lot of times we're so afraid to go try something new, feeling like, well, what if I make the wrong decision? If you're excited about it, you're on the right track. Go do it because it's something there that you need to learn, that God is trying to teach you. Like you said, you learned one thing and you were able to apply it to the next thing, which led you into what you actually do today. For me, I started something when I was a salon owner called the Boss Tribe, where I taught cosmetology students business and customer service and, branding and marketing, all those type of things. That gave me the confidence and the awareness to know that I even wanted to teach, which led me into starting women's entrepreneurship, which ultimately led into me being a coach. So, I tell people, don't be afraid to go try something, see what you can cultivate within yourself, and then just keep following the next thing that excites you and what you feel called to do. So I love that you were able to recognize that within yourself and were smart enough to take certain strategies and gifts and things like that and keep applying it to get to the next level. So I love that. I also love faith stories. So tell me one time that your faith was really weakened. Let's get a little vulnerable here. I know you're a big man and you tough and all of that stuff, but let's get a little vulnerable. Tell us about a story where maybe you felt like you weren't going to make it or things weren't going to manifest for you and you were able to push through and really overcome that situation.
All right. So I know you just said, let's get a little vulnerable. I'm going to be real direct and real honest. I know for a fact everything ain't going to go my way, right? And I'm 30 years old now and living to this age. By simply living, I know it's light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually that light I'm going to get to that light, right? I really don't get weak on faith because I don't really have a plan, so to speak. I test my ideas. They don't work, I readjust. But I know for a fact, like, this is not going to be smooth sailing to the top. I already know it's going to be obstacles. It's going to get in my way. It's going to slow me down. But you accept that if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you know that's going to happen. So I don't really say my faith is weak. I don't think it will ever get to that point. It hasn't, and I won't let it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want negativity to seep in on me, period. Like, if I see something and I want it, through all the ups and downs, I'm going to get there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I look at it. I'm not about to, like, dwell on anything or nothing like that. I'm going to just do what I need to do and stay focused and bring up solutions. I don't like to dwell on problems. I can't stand that.
Right.
I accept it if they come, but I'm full steam ahead.
I think that's super dope because not a lot of people have that ability. I think we all get discouraged at times just because that's human nature. But at the same time, if you make faith, your foundation and you ground yourself in that. And like you said, you just have the mindset that no matter what I'm going to face, I'm going to keep pushing through because I'm going to get to my goal. That allows for you to have the courage to keep taking the next step. I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're so excited when we get started. And we're like, oh, I'm about to do this business. And then when something doesn't happen or manifest quickly enough, or we come up against a roadblock, we're like, well, I'm just going to walk away. This ain't for me. But you have to understand it's never a straight shot to the goal. Like, it's going to be things you're going to have to overcome because that's going to grow you. That's going to teach you something new. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually you'll be able to share that experience with someone else and say, hey, don't make the same mistake, or you might come up against this. Let me tell you how to navigate your way through that. So, if you want to get into...
My bad. Go ahead.
If you want to get into any type of business, just be prepared to have to jump a few hurdles and be okay with that. Be okay with that, because that's going to make you stronger, and that's going to help you get to the end of that race.
Right. And another thing, through everything I started, I've never had a business plan. I've never once drafted a business plan. And I feel like you can't predict something that doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people I know, well, they come up to me, how do you write a business plan? I said, for what? You can't tell me in 3 years you're going to know what your revenue is going to be. You can't tell me that. And I feel like people, if they make these certain goals and they're not hitting them, that's when that doubt starts to creep in. Well, I'm not doing something right. And then you just start second guessing everything that you're doing. Like I said, I come up with an idea, I test it, and I reiterate, I readjust. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about feedback. You put something out to people, ask for feedback. The people won't tell you what they want. You know what I'm saying? And you just coming up with a business plan straight from your head or your team's head, that's kind of shallow, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm just all about just getting out there, like getting your feet dirty, getting your hands dirty, and just figuring it out as you go.
Right. I think it's a combination for me personally of, because I do believe a big part of manifestation is being intentional. And I think when you're direct with what you ask God for, one, you have something to aim for. I feel like you should always have a goal in mind. Like, okay, I want to do this. And ultimately, I would love 5 years from now to be a millionaire. Have some type of goal. And not even be afraid to really plan out some things for yourself, as far as saying, okay, I don't know this, so my next step is to learn this. And then, from there, I would like to purchase my first property. And then from there, I would like to have 10 properties, whatever. Some type of system, some type of goal, some type of something to look at, because to me, it does help keep your eyes on the prize, and it does help with keeping that vision in front of you. But at the same time, like you said, when you hit those goals and if you fall a little short, don't get discouraged. Don't feel like, oh, I have to doubt what God showed me. I have to doubt the vision. I have to doubt my dreams, those type of things. I always say, don't be afraid of the pivot. Like, everything, when you're walking in your calling, like literally things flow to you out of nowhere. So the answers will come, the clarity will come, the resources will come, the people will come, whatever it is that you need. But have a goal in mind, but don't be afraid to kind of have to shift things around. Like, don't get so strict and writing down every little step, and it has to happen by this day, and if I don't get this by then this ain't working. Don't get like that, because then you're not allowing room for God to work anything in your life, or even shift you in a direction you're really supposed to be going. So have a goal, be intentional, and be clear, at least some type of clearness. Like, at least I know what I want. Like, know the business you want to go into. Don't just be out here doing whatever. But at the same time, don't be afraid to pivot when things need to shift, and don't get discouraged if you don't always hit your goals, because there's always room to learn and grow. Like you said, you can network, you can get feedback, analyze your audience. Like, these are all things that I teach. Talk to people before you even get into business. See what your audience really wants from you, or your prospects and your customers and things like that. And find out how you can best serve them through your gifts and through building a team around to support you. Right. So I like that. I think it's super dope that your faith is so strong and so grounded. And I pray that over everybody, that they're able, to really push through no matter what, knowing that if God said he was going to give you something, if you prayed for something, if you have a goal in mind, it's yours already. You just got to keep pushing through until you get there. So that's really dope. So now that we talked about strong faith, tell us like a manifestation story. Like, sometime you were like, listen, I want to get this thing. It can even be like how you got your mobile home, that property, but I want to get this thing. Tell us how you manifested something, maybe just through believing you can get it, or, you prayed for it and mysteriously showed up on your doorstep, whatever. Tell us like your most strangest manifestation story.
You actually said it, the mobile home part. That's by far, like, probably my greatest accomplishment to me so far. But the guy that used to own this park, he was a real big shot caller, real big entrepreneur back in the day. I'm not sure what happened, but I was home one weekend. I just happened to drive by the park, and I saw it. It looked bad. It had 2 tenants. It had 7 trailers with 2 tenants. 2 of the homes are rented. And I said, I can do something with that. So when I got back home to Virginia, I called my mom. I was like, hey, you think you can get this guy's number? And she did. She got his number. And this was back in September, August, September, or something like that. And that's when we started talking about, hey, I want to buy this. And he was like, well, okay, what's the number? And we started negotiating. 6 months of negotiation for this little small park in the middle of nowhere. It was a lot of stress going on with that. And then at the end of it all, we get it under contract after 6 months. And then we find out it's $250,000 worth of liens on it. Yeah. So there we go. Being an entrepreneur, you got to figure something out. I knew I wanted this park, right? It's a lot of money to be made at mobile home parks. But I wasn't going to let that stop me. So I bought a book. It's called Real Estate Lease Options. And it's pretty much where you lease a property from the owner. You don't take ownership, you just lease it from them, but you take control of it. So that's pretty much what we did. We redid a contract. We leased the park from him until he can get the liens lifted and put on against his other properties or whatever the case may be. And then once the IRS takes those liens off, then we can purchase the park outright. So as of right now, we took control of the park. We renovated the trailers. We're still doing some renovations and leasing them out. And at first of the month, every month, the money's coming and hitting that direct deposit. So I can say that's one thing that, like, it took some faith to get there. Even my lawyer's like, I've never seen nobody go that much back and forth over a property. But I wanted that park, and I wasn't gonna let nothing stop me. Not even $250,000 lien. So that's what it was.
Yes, I like that. Do you feel like, because I always think like our next level, our next goal, next thing that we're supposed to acquire is like just like a gut feeling that you should go for it. Do you feel like you felt that way when you drove past?
Absolutely. I knew that had my name written all over. All over. So yeah,
just screaming
I
out, Marcus, buy me.
I had to tap in. So
I like that. I always say where there's a will, there's a way, you know, especially when it's God's will, it's definitely going to come through. So that's exciting. And I'm happy that you were able to get what you wanted. And I look forward to you, you know, sharing more information when everything is like really settled and you balling out of control.
Yeah, right. We stack up for rainy days.
I like that. I like that. So what's next for you? Like, what would be the next ultimate goal for yourself or next level? I know you don't create business plans, but I know you have like goals in mind. So what do you want to do next?
Okay. So right now, my broker and I and his partner, Ray Lecky, my broker is Cabell Molino, of the Molino agency. But right now we're about to start a podcast, right? And it's pretty much a real detailed inside look in real estate. So if you have any interest of getting in real estate, I think you guys should tap into this, because it's not like HGTV where they give you all these glamorous numbers and they show you all this cool thing. That's not real estate. I'm telling you that real estate every single day is problems. But anyway, we're going to dive deep into real estate investing, building, flipping, deal structures, finances, all that good stuff. And on top of the podcast, we're going to actually have an actual show. I don't want to say Black HGTV show, but that's pretty much what it is itself. What's going to be like real detailed day in the life of real estate agents, builders, flippers in this local Hampton Roads market, doing what they do every day. So you will get to see the pitfalls, constructing a team. You will see pretty much like who you need to be on your side if you're trying to get into this business. And you can learn a lot on the way as far as building or flipping, and pretty much get a feel for it before you dive into it. So that's what's next for the team. As far as me personally, I got a goal to retire at 41. That's the age I would be if I retired out the Navy. So I still got the goal to retire at 41. And right now, I'm trying to learn how to buy businesses with pretty much no money down. And I have a laundromat that I got in my site that I'm eyeing. So I'm running the numbers on that. But mainly, what's next for me is retiring early. So whatever it may be, I don't know what kind of business I'm going to buy, but definitely more rentals because I'm all about passive income and relaxing.
Yes, well, I'm excited. Hopefully we are still networking and entrepreneur buddies when you turn 41 so we could celebrate your retirement, okay? I don't know if I want to start working. I don't think I want to retire early because I have so many, you know, aspirations and things like that. I want to be in good health and I still want to like not have to work, you know, day to day, but still be doing something, you know. I just feel like I would lose my mind. Right. Just to at least be comfortable enough to say, I don't got to touch the business if I don't want to.
I feel like I'm a real creative person. So if I can't create, I feel like I just don't want to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tapping into my purpose. So even if everything went my way, entrepreneurship, it won't. But even if it did at 41, I could say, hey, I don't want to go there today. I don't want to push these papers today or do this. I want to go jet skiing, something like that. I can do that and still be a part of something, hopefully at a global level.
Well, I'll definitely be praying that you get there ASAP, you know, and that your dreams come to full fruition and manifestation. So before we drop some information on how people can follow you, you know, listen to your podcast, that type of stuff, just based off the current circumstances in America, how do you feel as a Black man? I know you have a daughter. Do you have a son too?
I have a son too.
You have a son. How do you feel as a Black man, especially when it has a son, regardless, son or daughter, feel about like what's going on in America right now with, you know, the protests and things like that?
I completely understand the protests. I understand the looting to a certain extent. When you're looting Black businesses and you're yelling Black Lives Matter all at the same time, it don't make sense to me. So I'm one to say, I don't know if you probably heard this before, but it's an old saying, who has the goal? He who has the goal makes all the rules, right? So for me, it's a pretty known fact that Black people are the biggest spenders in the country, but own the least amount of things. So we have the money because we're spending the money, but we don't own anything. We're not applying ourselves to take control of our economy. So I just don't feel like we'll get the respect we deserve until we come together. As you said before, every other culture that came to this nation stuck together, built their own. Jews got into the record industry and built their own. Arabs, I'm not being racist, but they all own stores. They own 7-Elevens. They own corner stores. That's their thing. You know what I'm saying? Asian people, they come here and do the same thing. They all stick together, put their money up, and build businesses together. I'm not going to say I don't see that in Black people. I don't see it as much. So until we learn how to control our Black dollar and build for ourselves, I don't think we're going to give the respect we deserve. People are not going to look at us like we worthy of respect until we control our own economy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying none of this is right, but I understand, people going out there and speaking their mind on things. I understand them destroying things because they're angry. I'm angry too, but I just choose to fight this in a different way.
That's definitely agree. I definitely agree. Do you feel like me, even being a woman, first of all, I'm straight out of Brooklyn, New York. Let me just throw that out there, you know. So I'm a girl that's used to being in the hood, never had any real positive experiences with the police until I was an adult, you know, and then one of my cousins became an officer. When I did hair for detectives and all kinds of beautiful, beautiful people. So I can't look at all officers as bad just because I've had both sides of that coin, you know. But do you ever feel threatened or feel like, you know, based off of what's going on with all the deaths, that it would ever be a circumstance that can involve you potentially getting hurt? Like, does that hit home for you?
Absolutely. I used to live in Alabama, and then I moved to Mississippi. And down there, that's a different part of the South. So it's kind of blatant and obvious down there as far as racism goes. So I'm not going to say, oh, no, it's not going to happen to me. I definitely feel like it can happen to me. So that's just something that I try not to think about, but I know it's a possibility.
Right.
And my son and my daughter, they're mixed. So I still have to, I'm learning how to have these talks with them. You know what I'm saying? Not that they understand at the age they are now, but that's something I'm trying to learn too, is how to communicate in a way that they understand it. And
like, I still get a knot in my gut when the police pull up behind me. I don't care how licensed and registered I am. You know, like I said, I've had both sides of the coin, and I still fear that. I still feel that fear, you know. So I definitely couldn't imagine being a Black man out here. Like, I think it's just as bad for men and women, but our men especially, you know, and it just kind of breaks my heart. And I do agree. I did make a post on my Facebook page where I said, you know, I don't think we should destroy our own, you know, businesses and communities and things like that. But on the flip side, a lot of things have been started by like extremists and, you know, people really trying to like build the narrative around making us look like we're the crazy ones. But like you said, you choose to fight in a different way. And I did mention that I started 30 Days of Healing, and I think day 1 or maybe day 2 along those lines, I talked about how everyone has their own purpose when it comes to fighting this and standing together. Like for me, I like to pray and meditate, or, you know, aid people in their healing, some type of way of trying to deal with all the energy that they're absorbing, the fear and anxiety and the rage, you know. So everyone has their own part to play. So I think there are people that should be out there protesting. We do need activists. We do need leaders in the politics and things like that to help change the laws. We do need Black lawyers and Black judges and those type of things. And we need people that are willing to buy the block. And we need people that are willing to not spend their money with anybody other than Black businesses. Like, it's a multitude of ways we can all support the movement. I just say, find something to do. Find something that resonates with you. Stay in your lane, and don't feel like you have to participate in things just because everybody else does. Just do something. Do something that you feel called to do. So I really like that. And thank you for sharing that with us. Because majority of the people that I interview are women. So it's nice to get a male's perspective on the current circumstances. So that was really cool of you.
And this one thing I want to say. This right here. Dr. Claud Anderson, right? He wrote this book. And it's pretty much how to take control of our Black dollar and our Black economy, right? And he laid it out step by step. I don't agree with everything he says in here, but his main points, I think, is exactly what we need to implement now, which we should have been doing to gain the respect that we deserve. So, like I said, I'm a big avid reader, but that right there that's definitely the game plan that I'm working on. And I feel like in history, every Black leader pretty much got their head cut off, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So with the awareness that this thing is brought, the George Floyd situation, I feel like mainly everybody in their community needs to get low and come up with a plan and implement that plan. Don't necessarily speak it out to the world because you don't want to draw attention to it. You already know what's going to happen. But just build up, and before you know it, it's too big to conquer, you know? So I think that's what we need to be doing, and that's definitely what me and my team is doing.
I definitely agree, and I definitely make sure that I include that book in the description. So thank you so much for joining us today, for sharing so much information. It has been phenomenal. I really, really do appreciate it. I know that you said you're starting a podcast. Do you have the name for your podcast already?
So the podcast is called Pay Tuition. And that's pretty much taking you through all the L's of real estate that team and our experience so far. And the show will be called We Move Keys. And that's hands-on visuals of everyday life in real estate.
I love it.
So I'll definitely send you the link and all that good stuff once we get it out there.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll definitely drop the name and I'll update the description. So if you happen to be watching this a little bit later, what's today? Then June 7th,
Right.
then the link should be there. And I'm also going to include Marcus's Instagram. So if you guys want to follow him, show him some love, take a peek into his world a little bit. Don't jump in his DMs for no free information, okay? But you can follow him and get a peek into his world. And you never know, he may offer some mentorship or something along the lines. But definitely check out the podcast when it's published. That way you guys can absorb all the information that you can. And you never know, he might offer some type of mentorship, ideas or something for the people. We don't know because Marcus don't make business plans. So he might just wake up one day and be like, I think I want to be a mentor today and just run with it. So I love it. So I appreciate your time. Thank you. You guys make sure you check out all of the links in the description. Make sure you follow me at Melanated Manifestor on Instagram. Go to www.theglobesociety.com for more information on how to join my inner circle or get one-on-one coaching from me. And make sure y'all show some love, all right? Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.